Agent Camarina's efforts led to the discovery of a multi-million-dollar narcotics manufacturing operation. Many drug cartel leaders were angered by this and sought revenge. They kidnapped and killed several other informants. On February 7, 1985, they kidnapped Agent Camarina and his pilot captain.
The DEA launched a massive investigation and found local law enforcement difficult to work with. Representatives with the Mexican Federal Judicial Police tipped DEA to ranch where they said a man and his son kidnapped Camarina. They planned a raid for the next day. The MFPJ raided the ranch before the DEA arrived and had shot and killed 5 individuals. The bodies of Agent Camarina and his pilots were found alongside a road not far from the ranch.
The DEA's investigation revealed that Agent Camarena had been tortured extensively before he was murdered. Later audio tapes showed how the medical doctors tried to keep Agent Camarena alive during the torture sessions, just so they could continue to interrogate him about information. His body was buried in one location and then dug up and moved to the side of the road where they eventually found him.
In his hometown of Calexico, California, the public outpouring of support turned into the organization of the Red Ribbon campaign. Then in 1988, Red Ribbon Week was nationally recognized by President Reagan and adopted across the U.S. In addition to remembering the sacrifice of Agent Camarena, Red Ribbon Week brings millions of people together to raise awareness to the harm caused by alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs.
It was around when I was 13 or 14, and you kind of find yourself trying to pick and choose your friends, and also at the same time, you're not really worried about what you want to accomplish at that time, but what people you want to hang out with.
I wanted to fit in.
Wasn't a popular kid in school, and it made me forget about all that.
Like, oh yeah, everybody else is doing it, so I'm gonna do it.
Friends were doing it.
I just wanted to jump right in and have fun. I did drugs because it seemed like it was fun.
It was the cool thing to do.
The cool thing to do was to get high, go to parties.
Growing up, you struggling.
Couldn't deal with life, so I didn't have to deal with life.
I wouldn't listen to anyone.
I was stubborn.
Like as a rebellious thing.
This is what the rebel kids were doing. I just want to see what it was like.
I started experimenting with it.
Experimenting with friends.
First tried it because I was bored.
I was always up to try something new.
When I was growing up, we had this program. It was just say no, just say no.
People are just saying no, but they're not saying why. It's like telling a person no and then they go do it.
Sparked my interest on drugs.
I knew that they were bad, and I always heard about this addiction, but I didn't know what it meant.
That's probably the number one reason why I did drugs in the first place. I just didn't know.
Drugs are everywhere. They're in magazines, movies, TV shows, billboards. They're all over the place. In the movies they make it look cool, but in real life it's not cool. It's a serious problem.
And a lot of times they try to glamorize drugs. Like make drug dealers or getting high look cool. But that's only in the movies. In real life, it's a whole different story.
All drugs, whether we're talking about alcohol, marijuana, LSD, these are all essentially poisons.
It would depend on the amount that you take. A lesser amount might just speed you up, make you feel really active. Stronger amount or a stronger dosage would act as a sedative, make you slow, sluggish, tired. And even more amounts, it would kill you. You'd have an overdose.
Every drug works in these stages. It's only really the amount needed to make the effect that's the difference from drug to drug.
A person who's taking drugs, whether for physical pain or just to try and block off any sensations they don't want to feel, those sensations are actually just being pushed away and getting worse and worse.
You're going to be totally numb and just not be able to feel anything.
When you take drugs, the drug goes through your bloodstream, and later on in your life, that drug can, come back up and into a flashback when you use the drug.
You could have taken LSD one day and a year down the road it could come back into effect and you can start hallucinating again.
And it's not just LSD, it's every drug. So you can get hit with the effects of a drug even a long time after you stop taking them.
Drugs definitely affect the mind. Everything you see around you is different than what's really going on. You can't hear correctly, see correctly. All of your senses are totally thrown off. Your perception is definitely distorted. Makes it dangerous for you and others because you don't know what's going on. You can't handle things, the way they're supposed to be handled.
Drugs affect your memory so much. It doesn't matter if you're taking them for a long time or just a short period of time.
I know, when I first just tried studying and stuff more, I really couldn't concentrate, I couldn't pay attention.
I went from a straight A student to a B- student, C student. Then I quit going to school and I would get really frustrated. It's like your brain won't function. You can't think straight. It's like everything is messed up.
I never got anything done. I would start on something and I wouldn't finish it. It just didn't happen.
It was just unbearable. I couldn't deal with life at all. I couldn't get a job because I was just out of it completely.
My decisions were based off of, what this drug is telling me to do rather than, what I want to do.
I got them from friends in school.
2 friends.
A friend of mine.
My older brother's friends.
Bunch of girlfriends. Boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend. Older guy. My dad.
My cousin. My brother.
My older sister.
Older kids.
My buddy just said, you can do it every once in a while, it'll be no problem.
Told us it was going to be the best thing we've ever done.
You do it once, you'll be fine.
It's not gonna hurt you, really. It's just a little pick-me-up. You can't get addicted to it.
They said it's not something that you're going to be taking every day. It's just something that you can take when you want to have fun.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun time.
It's a fun drug to be on. Makes you easier to talk to girls.
And they said it'll bring you up. It's gonna make you feel different. You're gonna like it. You're gonna feel good.
It's all in your face. That's the thing to do.
All it is taking a drug dealer's word for it.
When you're trying to get someone hooked, you'll say whatever you can to get a customer. You're lying for them to believe you so you can make money.
I would tell people it's fun, makes you energetic, makes you more likable. It's something people want to be around. I tell them whatever they wanted to hear in order to pick that first one up.
When I was 12 years old, I didn't say, "Hey, I want to be 24 in rehab." I never said that to myself. But that's what became true. And I never thought about it when I was 13 years old. I started smoking pot.
I was that kid that started out with marijuana and played around with certain party drugs, whatnot, and I told myself specifically that I would never do certain things, cocaine, heroin, and it only took a short time for me to finally accept it and be like, okay, I'll try that.
I had no idea where it would lead me, to almost dying, to stealing, lying, cheating, ruining relationships. It didn't matter.
I didn't get into sports. I didn't get into the clubs. I didn't even go to prom.
Left me with living on the streets without a family, and is that what I set out to be? No. I was just set out to have a good time at college parties.
The drugs robbed me of all the pleasure of life. The drugs took away my family. The drugs took away my girlfriend, my friends.
I looked back on 5-6 years of my life and saw that all I had done is absolutely just ruined incredible opportunities that I had to have success and hurt all the people around me.
It's not just something that's gonna affect tomorrow, it's gonna affect forever.
You don't have to find out everything for yourself. You don't have to find out what a car accident experience is like.
Do yourself a favor. Don't fall into the same footsteps as so many other people have.
And realize that you could be the guy living under the bridge shooting heroin.
You might think you won't get like that. None of us ever did, and we wound up in those same shoes.
What I would tell people is I would give them my story. I would tell them my exact story. I would tell them my story.
A story like mine.
Insanity of my story. Ultimately, it comes down to their own decision making.
You have to get the facts, check the statistics,
Find out for yourself.
find out for yourself.
Find out the actual truth of what these are and what they're going to do to your life.
I would just say to anybody, if you're going to do something, if you're really going to do something, go educate yourself on it beforehand. I think there's a lot of truth in that.
My natural high is dancing. It's the best way to express myself. Anytime I'm feeling down or sad or even happy, I can go to the dance studio and I can let out those emotions. My name is Chelsea Hightower, and I'm from Orem, Utah. I was 9 years old when I started dancing, and at first I was a little bit rough. I was always like the last kid in class to pick up the steps. But once I finally found my confidence in it and found out that I had a talent for it, it was a wrap ever since. I couldn't stop dancing. I found that high that it gave me inside of my body that made me never want to stop. There was many sacrifices that I had to make. My friends would be doing something fun, and and in a funny way, I loved it. I loved the fact that I had something that was so much more important than going out. I had this future that I was building, and I had this passion that I would give up anything for. There was many times at parties or when I was out that I would ask if I wanted alcohol. And in many ways it was dancing, and it was this goal and this next place that I was trying to reach that kept me away from those things. Because I realized that, if that is my ending goal, what purpose does alcohol or drugs serve me? And so I think because I had that so firm in my mind, I had those goals so firm in my mind, that it became a no-brainer. I didn't want those things because those didn't serve what I truly wanted. I didn't want to give up what I might have wanted for the moment for what I truly wanted at the end of the day. When it comes to handling peer pressure, it's just simply knowing what you want, and the stronger you are and the more firm you are in that goal, the easier other things become, and those answers start to answer themselves, and you don't have to second guess or question whether you want to even dive into those things, because they don't help your purpose at the end of the day. When you're on a TV show like So You Think You Can Dance or Dancing with the Stars, it is the utmost pressure. You have not only a panel of judges looking at you, but you have millions of people potentially through those cameras. There is this point that you just block everything out, and the only thing that you are there for is your dance in that moment. The fact that there are that many people watching you and you are blocking all of that out makes that feeling that much stronger, and that high that much greater, because you know how many people are there watching you and you're in the zone. And there is nothing that I've experienced personally, almost nothing, that is better than that feeling. There's been many times where I, in my mind, failed. I didn't get the placement that I thought I deserved, or I didn't make the cut, or whatever it was, and those times were the times that were the most important in my life. And those times, the times that I failed, I look back on and I see how much growth I had in that time. And I didn't learn much from winning, except, yeah, winning feels good, but that lit a fire under me like nothing else would. I would say to kids who might be bullied for their passion or for what they do, don't pay attention to the haters. Those kids are probably just jealous of the fact that you have something and you have this passion. If it makes you happy, then that should be all that matters. I've had many really great influences throughout my life. My mom was always very supportive of me in staying in dancing and to be the best person and dancer that I can be. And I think ultimately it's not just about being a good dancer, but it's also about being a good person as well. Everybody has something that holds their interest, or it's something that they're good at. Dancing was a huge blessing in my life, and I also feel like I was given a platform and I was blessed with opportunities to be able to give back and to be able to inspire other people to do the same thing, whether that be, follow their passion in dance or follow their passion in sports or whatever that is. Find that, explore different options and go for it, because there's nothing that will form you and shape you more than finding that passion and going for it. And a lot of times it's not about the ending goal, it's not about getting the trophy, it's not about winning first place, but it's the journey that takes you to that place. It's the person that you become in the process that is the true trophy and the true goal. My name is Chelsea Hightower. Dance is my natural high. What's yours?
For some reason, the lifestyle fascinated me, and I guess because I thought it was going to be fun.
You think it might be innocent, or just using it once, or just using it to have fun?
It does look like all fun and party and happy times, but drugs are the 100% complete opposite.
It was literally that quick. I let my guard down, I tried it, and that was it. That was the end of it.
I just happened to do the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Once you start using it, it's not just, oh, it's going to stay recreational forever. It's not that way. It progresses, it gets worse.
It's definitely a dangerous road to go down.
It's like playing Russian roulette with your life. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
It might seem like it's cool and you escape reality or whatever, but all you're doing is postponing the inevitable.
You're just masking your problems rather than handling them.
The drug becomes the fix, and what happens is, after weeks, months, years of living that sort of lifestyle, is the problems just stack up.
You may be angry at people in your life, and maybe that's why you start using drugs, but when they're gone, you realize how lonely it can be.
If I would have known some of the things that were gonna happen due to my drug use, I probably never would have surrounded myself with the people that I did.
I probably would have been a lot smarter about it. I would have made much better decisions and choices.
If I had all the information, I probably wouldn't have started doing it.
If I knew then what I knew now, I would never touch it. I wouldn't even think about it.
Seeing what they've done in my life and other people's lives, I don't want no one to use ever, you know what I'm saying? And my heart gets full when I think about someone thinking about using.
Now, what's the one thing in this world that you know that you would never do? That you would never do to somebody? Would you steal from a friend? No. No, you wouldn't? Okay. This will make you do that. This will make you do that.
I had goals, I had dreams, I had aspirations to do a lot, and I just put my life on hold for 11 years.
The things that you lose, a lot of times you can never get those back.
I have that question today, what is the what ifs? You know what I mean? What if I had chose to do this or that?
You see in movies or something, you go in the time machine and you change one thing, everything changes. That's exactly what it does. If you would have changed that one hit, that one joint you smoked, I'm sure everything else would have been different.
That's the truth. That's the truth about drugs.